What's up everyone, welcome back to Action Makes More. If you're new around here, my name's Harry Chadwick and in today's video we're going over my top 3 favourite back exercises that you can do during lockdown. Like I mentioned in my previous video, if you want to buy any of the equipment, it's dead cheap, dead easy. All be down now, linked in the description for you all to check out. Highly recommend it and it is very efficient. But with that said, let's get into the video. So then guys, if you watched the last video, you know we did the top 3 chest exercises that I find myself doing throughout lockdown, and I highly recommend you guys throw them in. If you missed that video, I will put it up there right now somewhere. But without further ado, today we are jumping into the back exercises and I will go through the form, the technique that you need to be using whilst doing these, and a few things you should keep in mind to help you along the way. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, comment with your favourite exercises and subscribe. I'm trying to do what I can at the moment to really grow this channel, and I feel like this video could be very beneficial, so don't forget to subscribe and feel free to share it around. But with that said, let's do this. When it's all over, when I'm wider, when I'm bolder. Right then guys, the first exercise we're getting into, I've just done a little warm up, so we've got a little something going around my body right now. So the first exercise we're getting into is the single arm dumbbell row. I'm going to show you the form and my best practices whilst doing this, firstly with no weight, and then I'll add some weight and we can go from there. So don't worry, we're going to see some weight. So guys, when you are performing this exercise, you obviously want to get into a comfortable position, leaning on something that is relatively sturdy. This isn't that sturdy, but we'll make do. When you're doing this, you want to keep your back straight. When you're down, allow your shoulders to go forward, and when you come back up, you want to row it and pull. So pull with your elbow, like you're bringing your elbow back. You don't want to bring it into a weird position where you're putting it out like that, or where you're putting it up like that and you're bending your arm, because that's not going to work the lats, which is what we're going to target here. The idea is to let your shoulder come back, and as you pull up, retract your shoulder and pull up with your elbow and tug that hand into your hip and squeeze. And when you're doing this, you will feel it in your lats, so I'll show you now. Like so. Guys, if this is an exercise you've not really done before, I definitely recommend doing it with no weight to start with. Get the mind muscle connection going and feel the squeeze. Try and feel the squeeze, because that's where the magic happens. If you don't feel the squeeze, something's probably not too right. Tweak the form and play around with it until you feel the squeeze, and make sure you're not putting your shoulder into a weird position like that whilst you're squeezing and pushing it forwards. That's not good. You want to make sure it's retracted. So when you go down, it's forward, and when you come up, it's retracted, and that will really squeeze, as you can see there, the rear delt, as well as your lats. So, with that said, let's get some weight on the go. One more thing whilst doing this exercise, when you pull, if you are not squeezing the lats or you can't feel the squeeze, when you come up, just slightly twist your elbow into your body whilst keeping it like this, so that your wrist is following your elbow. You're pulling with your elbow and squeeze into it a bit, because that's really going to activate the lat. What people don't realise, especially when you're doing wide grip pull-ups, is that one of the lat's functions and movements is to pull your arm into your body. So when you squeeze it like that, you're really activating it. It's going to give you a better workout. And the other thing is, don't go too heavy, get your form and work with that. Drop the ego, drop the weight. Right then guys, so moving on, so my second favourite exercise to do, and I believe it is one of the most effective when trying to target the back and latissimus dorsi in particular, is overhead latissimus dorsi raises. So for this exercise, for the demonstration and the technique on this exercise, I'm going to show it with a 2.5 dumbbell thingy weight. When doing this exercise guys, you want to make sure your shoulders remain retracted and down in order to get the squeeze on a lat, and make sure you are not going to injure your shoulders either. Chest up and back straight. When doing it, go down slowly, shoulders retracted, chest out, back straight, feet firmly planted on the floor, your weight above your shoulders. Any further than that, gravity will start to weigh against you and go the opposite direction. You want to slowly and controlled bring your arms backwards, squeezing your shoulders back, and when you get to here, about 180 degrees, not much further, and it depends on person to person and your shoulder health as to how far back you go. I would say about 180 degrees parallel to your head. So hold it there for a second and then slowly squeeze back up, pulling it with your back. Shoulders remain retracted to about here, and then that is a rep. And then you go back again, slowly, 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 180 degrees, hold it for a second or two, feel the contraction and squeeze on the way up to about above your head again. Any further, as I say, you run the risk of your shoulders coming forward, and alongside that, gravity will weigh you down. So I'm going to now add a bit of weight and do it with a dumbbell. I use exercise to target in between a heavy lift. So the idea is to target the lats mainly. Maybe start with a lower weight on 3 sets of 12 and up the reps over the weeks, and then up the weight and reduce the reps back down to 12 and up them back to 15 after a week or so. So you're constantly progressively overloading and redoing that cycle every couple of weeks or so to shock the muscle and keep it growing or maintaining. With that being said, your music's going up, my music's going up, but you can't hear my music because otherwise I'm going to get copyright striked, even though I'm not monetized, so I don't know if that makes a difference or not. So if you guys know the answer to that, hit me up in the comments, it'll be much appreciated. Alright guys, so moving on, the third and final exercise that I'm doing today. Now bear with me on this one, I have just done a full back workout, so I'm not sure how good it's going to be, but we're going to try and we're going to do what we can with it. Oh yeah. And so without further ado, the third and final exercise I've been doing during lockdown is wide grip pull-ups. For this, you are targeting pretty much the upper half of your back, and it's a great compound exercise because it initiates a lot of different muscles within your back and it is superb for whilst you don't have many weights. So without further ado, let's get into it. So make sure whilst doing this exercise you have your shoulders back and you keep the whole movement under control, slowly, and really squeeze your lats. When you get to the top, as I said when we did the single arm row, you want to squeeze your lats together. That will get a good contraction, and as you know, that's where the magic happens. Let's get into it. So guys, as you can probably tell, that is the end of the workout. Within that last exercise, the wide grip pull-ups, as you can see my form started to fail a little bit at the end there, and that is mainly because I do it as a finisher. I also try to do them every other day to get better, because the more volume you can do on a certain exercise, the better you're going to get at it. When your form starts to dip a little bit like that, that's when you call it failure. So technical form it's called, because if you carry on going, you run the risk of possibly injuring yourself, and alongside that you're not really effectively working the muscle anymore. Now when I'm doing wide grip pull-ups on an every other day basis, I like to do about 2 or 3 sets of 8 or 10 or 12 and try improve it throughout the week. However, at the end of a back workout, I usually do 3 sets and I go to max technical failure on every single one, and note it down as well so that I can try beat it for the next time. It's a good way to progressively overload it, and alongside that it's a good way to fully destroy your lats and your whole back after a back workout. However guys, ignore the mess behind me. It's been one of them days. I'll get to it, alright. With that said, I believe that is the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you have learned something from it and taken value away. If you have, then feel free to leave a comment and tell me that you have, and I want to know what your favourite exercises are as well. As I said at the start, I'm really trying to grow this channel, so share it around, drop a like, please subscribe and tell friends, because you guys are the best way of it getting around. I don't have social media or anything set up at the moment, but I'll get to that in the future. I hope you guys all have an awesome evening, and I'll see you in tomorrow's quote of the day. Peace.